Hi, I'm Paul Germain, and welcome to another session of Smart Boating. As you know, if you watched the show before, we typically do a lot of topics, including from hurricane protection to docking. We cover a variety, and the idea is generally to provide you with information that will help you make smarter decisions, have more fun on the water. But every now and then we take a little side trip down a place that I thought you'd find interesting. That's the case today. We're at Milford Pond in Milford, Mass, and we're going to learn more about the world of radio-controlled model boats. And joining me is Mike Hale, who's the Commodore of the Marine Modelers Club of New England. Did I get that right, Mike?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right.
It's Commander, but
Commander,
we don't have a
okay. All right, Commander, all right.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, I think this is going to be a really interesting show for people. They're going to really enjoy it. But before we get into it, can you tell them a little bit about how you got involved in the hobby, just briefly, and a little bit about the club?
Sure. I got involved because, say around, 30 years ago and stuff, I bought a house and had a pool, and eventually out enjoying the pool, said, hey, you got to have some toys and stuff, and picked up at Toys R Us or something, I believe it was. Actually, it was the first boat, just to move and maneuver around and have a little fun in the pool.
Right, okay.
And didn't take long, and I said, well, there's got to be something more I can do with it.
Right.
And started looking around and discovered there's a whole world out there of remote control boats.
Yeah.
And you can build them, you can buy them built up to a certain extent. And where I wanted to modify what I had, then okay, that gets into even more detail and more interesting work. But starting out, say, with a relatively inexpensive one. The first one I bought was, to build, was actually a plastic destroyer.
Wow.
And they could easily, the kit was all set up to be easily modified, so it could be remote control and run on any given lake.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk more about your boats in a second, but can you share me just a quick snapshot of the club? How many members? 40, 50 members here in Massachusetts?
We're down, probably somewhere between 30 to 40
30
right
to
now.
40, yeah. And you're
right
a
now
subsidiary of, what, small-scale shipbuilders?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, we belong to the National Club, actually for insurance purposes, which is good coverage, because if anything happens in one of our events or something happens to anybody here,
Yes.
then we have huge insurance coverage.
All right. So
Protect them and
the club does a lot of different events, right? One a month, basically.
We meet every single month, including the winter, but from April through October, we're out in the water.
Okay, all right.
And different lakes all around.
Yeah, yeah. So
we had a big event. We go to Providence Boat Show every February and participate there. They set up a portable pond. We run our little bumper tugs, and we put all the rest of our tugs on display.
Oh.
So this is our third year, and they love us there.
It's going good. All right. Well, that's a good overview of your involvement in the club. You obviously have the knowledge, so why don't we get it right into the rest of the show?
Sure.
Okay. Well, Mike, you brought an interesting collection of boats here today, and we're going to kind of go through them and talk about what's different about them and what's unique. This first one is a big tugboat, and geez, I don't know, a real life that looks like 50-footer or something. I don't know exactly what it would be, but it's a pretty nice model. Why did you pick this one?
Yeah, for one thing, it's a ready to run, so it was already built. It's one of the few, actually the only tug I have that came ready to run that didn't require building.
Okay, so it's fully complete. Yeah. What are some of the details on here that you liked that made you pick
one of the
this
aspects is it's relatively light, where you're holding it nice and comfortable.
That's right.
And I wanted something that I can easily pack around, take with me in any given situation.
I see.
And it's good to have a smaller tug, where I have several a couple others that are larger, one as much as 75 pounds, which you won't be holding it.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
But it's a nice, very maneuverable, nice standard steady motor and stuff in it.
Is it a certain brand?
Recent speed.
Like cars, GM and Ford and that sort of thing. Do they have brands for models?
It's called the Atlantic Aqua Marine and stuff that I believe is.
Okay. All right. So, and that's a commercial tug, obviously. And it's got the fenders out there, and we got
Yeah.
the life rings and the.
So it's nice protected, and it's got lights. Lights work
Oh,
to
it
light
does?
up.
Oh, okay.
I've never added sound, which I do have on my other tugs.
Oh yeah.
Another nice feature about it is I set it up and added a couple hooks on it, fore and aft, and
Okay.
and I can bring a rescue rig
Okay.
into play, and
When would you use that?
quite often when the guys are out running their boats,
Yeah.
something happens.
Okay.
It's notorious. It happens about every single meet,
All right.
and
So they get out there and they can't get
it
back.
dies, and
Okay.
batteries, different things go wrong.
Okay.
Even a couple propellers that come off.
All right.
And this makes it nice and easy, goes right along beside the tug, hooks right on the
Oh,
side.
I see. So it's not over the top; it's on the side.
Yeah, it's on the side.
Yeah.
And these hook onto the hooks,
Okay.
and I just scoop it right in, bring it back into shore.
Okay.
Another boat rescued and problem solved, and we don't have to worry about how we can get the boat back in.
Nice.
So,
With the lights, you can even do it after dark.
yeah.
Right. Beautiful. Well,
So
that's
it
a nice
makes it
boat.
very handy to have, a nice and light, and you can get it in the water quick.
Quick.
So
Yeah. Okay.
the battery's in, take the cover off, flip it on, and you're ready to go.
Yeah. Speaking of batteries and motor, what has it got in it for batteries?
It's
and
got
and
a
motor?
550 motor, which is medium power, medium speed, and it runs off a 7.2 milliamp volt, 7.2 volt, which will give you, on this boat, because it uses so little power, it can run for half an hour actually.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's got good long run time on it.
All right. That's a beauty. Well, let's put
It's
that down
handy
for
to
a
have.
second. And I'm gonna bring the next one to the front here. So these radio control model boats, they come in all shapes and sizes. So
Oh, yeah.
this is a big difference from the tug we were just looking at, right?
Yeah, my jet ski, this is all built. This one I built.
Oh,
so
you did?
Started, say, from the hull and everything else. I cut out, put together, the person put all the hardware in.
Okay.
And even recently, I just did another upgrade from
Oh.
the original motor. Now it's a brushless motor,
Oh yeah.
which gives you a lot more speed.
Yeah. Better life too, right?
A lot more, yes,
Yes.
a lot longer life.
Yeah.
Because I've had, actually even in the tug, I had to replace the motor
Oh,
because
you
that
did?
was
Oh, okay.
the brushed. And
Yeah. This is a brushless.
they will go out after a certain amount of time in usage.
What sort of speed do you get out of a boat like this?
This one goes to about 45 to 50 miles an
Oh,
hour.
really? Wow.
So that was the other kicker, that it went up from 35 to 40 with brushed. You go to brushless, you're turning that many more RPM.
Oh, right.
Runs off a twin 7.2 5,000 milliamp batteries. So combining that power together,
Wow.
it can really, it goes up on plane and it just skips right across here.
Wise, huh?
The other thing in running it that much with the brushless motors is I had to put all new systems on the back
Oh, you did.
to
For
add a
steering.
water scoop to
Okay.
cool
Yes.
the speed controller and cool the motors.
I see. I see.
Or cool the motor and stuff. It's just a single one. But
Okay.
yeah, it's impressive out here.
Yeah.
A lot of fun to ride.
One of
and
the faster boats,
easy
probably.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a larger one that's 56 inches long. That does over 70 miles an hour.
Wow. Wow. Well,
But,
that's pretty unique.
You
What's-
need big lakes and stuff to run it. So.
Only-
But that I bring just about everywhere I go because it's a good, solid, easy to run boat.
Yes. Yes. Now here's another
This
version.
is a yeah,
here.
nice fancy yacht that
Yes.
I actually just got from back in Christmas.
Oh, you did.
And so haven't really, other than I had to redo all the hardware inside.
Oh, you did.
Make sure the boat was all sealed.
Mm-hmm.
You find out most of them come lubricated on the shaft.
Yeah.
This was totally dry.
Okay. All
A
right.
lot of different things that you have to think about in running and making sure it's watertight.
Yeah.
So
Did this come through? What level of finish did it? Like, was it halfway done or three-quarters of the way done?
other
or-
than the hardware inside, the boat itself was in this condition.
Okay. All right. Is this a popular brand or?
I did a lot of searching to find a yacht.
Yes. Yes.
I had built one before. Unfortunately, several years ago, it caught on fire
Oh,
and
boy.
had severe damage.
Yeah.
It was a little longer than this one, but it took a long time to find one
Did it? So this is kind of rare.
So they're really hard to find.
Yeah.
Actually, it came from China.
Oh, it did?
Was able to locate it.
Interesting.
I'm going to be adding a wireless stereo system to it so I can put out
Nice.
music.
Nice.
I'll be adding lights.
Yeah.
I'm building up a mast.
Okay.
And it's got a little hot tub up there. I got to find a little water.
I see that.
And the hardest thing to find is it's 1/32 scale, the right scale people
Oh, right. Yeah.
to go on the boat.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that I am still searching, and
Yeah.
I have been searching since Christmas,
All
and
right.
still haven't found,
Takes a while.
because you want them in appropriate attire.
Yes.
You can find railroad people,
Yeah.
but you can't find
No
people
boaters.
that are
No
on
yachtsmen.
yachts.
No yachtsmen. All right.
Yeah, so it's so hey, it's keeps you busy looking at different things. So I look forward. It runs great.
Does it?
Now
What sort of
it's just,
performance do you get out of a boat like this?
now it gets up around 30, 35 miles an hour.
Does it
really?
really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
impressive speed.
Yeah. Twin
Very
screw or single
maneuverable.
screw? I can't
Just
tell.
single screw.
Single screw. All right.
And a good long run time. It goes about 20, 25 minutes.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Gaspar, there's a lot of interesting boats here at the show today. That's the one event at Milford Pond. And this is certainly different than some of the other ones we've been looking at. This looks like a Coast Guard cutter.
It is.
Yeah,
The hull is fiberglass,
it is.
and it's got a wood deck on it, plywood deck.
Plywood, okay.
The cabin structure is all basswood. It was all,
Basswood?
all fabricated as one piece.
Okay.
And the mast is brass tubing.
Oh,
So there was all cut, fit together, soldered,
wow.
and
Now this is a copy of like the boats that run Falmouth or Boston, right?
down at
The
Woods
Coast
Hole.
Guard boat.
Yeah,
Woods
Woods
Hole.
Hole, Mass.
Yep, yep. This is a cutter, right?
Right.
This
They
would
have
be
two
like
of these.
a
It's 110 foot.
110 foot. Yeah, this is a significant boat in the Coast Guard fleet. Okay, so you bought it as the hull and then you built it out? is what
Built
you're
it up.
saying? Wow.
Built it up.
Yeah. How long
There's-
did it take you to do that sort of thing? Were there certain aspects of the boat that took
I think
longer
it
to
took
do than
me-
others?
No, it took me about a year, a little over a year to complete. Obviously, the cabin structure is a lot of work.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And the windows were cut out, and I put
These right here.
smoked plexiglass in there.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that added a little touch to it.
Very nice. And it
The
looks like
mast-
this. What are these boxes up here? Are these missile launchers?
Actually, they're ammo boxes for the
Ammo
forward
boxes
gun. Yeah,
for this
the
one
forward
here.
gun mount.
Okay. All right. All right. So you got a lot of detail. You got the helmsman up here.
Yeah.
Yep. And you got the
The
inflatable there.
tricky part on this one was building the stairs on the other side.
Oh, is that right? Now, did you anticipate that, or was that a surprise?
No, I anticipated it.
Oh, you did. Okay. All right. Now, a boat like this. So, was this a particular brand of hull, a certain manufacturer that makes a hull like this?
There is a retired captain from the Coast Guard out in Illinois, and he formed his own company called Coast Guard Models.
Oh, okay.
So he makes the hulls generally in fiberglass.
He does. Okay.
Occasionally, he will produce a fiberglass cabin structure,
Okay. All right.
and you get the drawings from him,
Yeah.
and you work from there.
Did you say this was to scale? Is this to scale of some
Yes,
type?
½ inch to the foot.
½ inch to the foot. Yeah. So it's very accurate. Yep. And then, what sort of power is in a boat like this?
I use a 12-volt battery.
12 volt.
It's got dual
12 volt.
motors in
That's
it.
pretty big. 12 volt.
Dual motors.
Dual
And,
twin screw, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. And does it have it go forward, neutral, and reverse? Just forward? How does
No,
something like that
forward,
work?
reverse.
Forward and reverse. Wow. Wow. So you can take this out in kind of a choppy day, if you will, and
Yeah.
no big deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beauty.
Yeah, playing around with the motors. I've got this almost set up where the bow will come right up out of the water. It'll
that right?
actually lift. And these fins on the side are more or less for stabilizing, but they're in a
Stabilizers, yeah.
fixed position.
Yeah.
So they kind of help
Oh, okay.
raise the front
Right.
end a little bit.
They're like
It wasn't
foils.
intended that way, but
Yeah.
that's the way it worked out.
It worked out that way. Yep. Well, that's a beautiful boat.
The little figures, they were in another kit. I saw another Coast Guard model that they sell on the market. And,
Oh yeah.
it had these little characters, and I
Yeah.
bought the model just to take the characters out.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly feels like an accurate depiction of the
Yeah.
full-size boat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a beauty. Well, Charlie, we've been looking at a lot of interesting boats here today at at the Milford Pond event, if you will. And this is a particularly interesting boat. This is a pretty big tug, right?
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, this tug is a 1-32 model of Texaco Tug Fuel Chief. I worked on this vessel as an engineer and chief engineer for over 19 years.
You did.
So I'm very familiar with it.
I bet.
And basically I drew it up on AutoCAD and I built it. It's a frame, wood on frame type of construction.
Oh, okay.
I use a radio that has 18 channels on it, and every one of those channels has a function on there, from the radar to the fire monitor, the lights, the two motors, rudder, towing winch, the
Wow.
whole things.
Wow.
So this boat has a special meaning in my heart. I spent a good deal of time on it
Yes.
in my old days.
How long did it take to build this?
This was one winter. Usually
One
I
winter.
start a project in late fall, November or so, and finish up in April to get to play with it.
Okay, all right. So it's a winter project. And did you say there was a scale to it, X amount of inches to Y amount of feet?
Yes, right. 1 inch to 32 inches. So for
1
every
inch to
1 inch,
32
it
inches.
equals 32.
Okay. And this tug like this would have a crew of 4 or 5 guys? Or?
No, this
No.
one, we had a barge that used to be mated to this that was larger than a World War II tanker. So we had a crew
Oh
of,
boy.
we had nine guys on the tug and 3 guys on the barge.
And this, so what does this get for power?
The real boat?
Well, the real boat and this boat, yeah.
Okay, the real boat had two 2200 horsepower EMD engines, same things they use on diesel locomotives.
Oh, okay.
This boat has 2 brushless motors with a 4-to-1 reduction gear to slow the props down.
Oh, okay. It's got a lot of torque, I imagine,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
If I ran and run faster, then I'd have a speedboat, and it's not a speedboat.
Well, we've got a different type of boat over here. This looks like something I'm very familiar with. I'm on the ocean, you know, and you see these lobster boats all the time. What made you pick this boat to get involved with?
Okay, I went to school at Maine Maritime, so
You did.
I'm familiar with a lot of boys that went to school up there and
Yes.
the boats and the things they played with growing up.
Yes.
This is a model of a very famous boat that held the speed record in its class for about 20 years.
Oh, is that
I
right?
won't mention the name of it because I don't want to get the company that builds them in the Belfast area upset. But
Right. Okay. Sure.
because it held on to the speed record for so long, I think I wanted to build one.
Yeah.
So this is a replica, my view of a replica. It's not based on any plans. It's
Yeah.
what I could get for pictures online.
Oh, you
and
built it
stuff.
from scratch.
Oh yes, this
Oh,
is
is that right?
scratch-built boat as the tugboat
Yeah.
was.
And this is wood construction, is it?
No, it's all fiberglass.
It's all fiberglass.
hull, deck, and everything. So you make everything out of wood, make a mold, and then you make your
Boy.
fiberglass parts. So now you can make mini. So I've got
Yeah.
2 more of these for my grandchildren to play with. We want to have lobster boat races on the pond.
You should. Now, I'm guessing 32 foot, 34 foot, something
Yes,
like
you
that?
got it right on the mark. It's
Yeah.
a model of a 32-footer, and the scale is 1 inch to 9 inches.
All right. All right. And what sort of power do you have in this, Charlie?
I have a brushless motor in this, direct drive. Basically, horsepower-wise, if you were to figure out the horsepower, it's probably somewhere around 3 to 4 horsepower.
3 to
It
horsepower.
will,
Wow.
You know, the model itself will do 24. They actually race these RC boats, but I've never met any of those down east boys that race them.
Okay. All
And
right.
I don't want my boat to sink. There's too much money involved
Yeah,
in
no,
it
I
to
don't
flip
blame
it
you.
and sink
I
it.
don't blame you. That looks like a real nice replica there. Very, very accurate. Yeah.
Thank you.
Why don't we
And
take a look at this one? This
the
is
last
again,
boat-
it's a whole different
When I
kettle
first
of fish.
got into the hobby in 2015, I got out of my real boat world in 2013, and I couldn't find anything else to do, so I wanted
Okay.
to do something. So in 2015, I got in building model boats. This is a kit boat built by Dumas. It's a
Oh. Dumas,
plank on
okay.
frame,
Okay.
and it's a model of a 23-foot Chris Craft Continental. There's probably only about somewhere around 375 built originally.
Of the
And-
models or the boats?
The boat, the real boat
The
itself.
real boat, yeah.
So, as far as I know, there are only like 2 boats of this design left. One on one in Pasaki and the other one out in Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
So, it's a gentleman's boat back in its day. It's a 1956 model.
Yeah.
They built this boat roughly for 5 years, from about 1955 to 1960. The first engines were flathead, 185 horsepower, 6-cylinder engines. Then around 1959-60, the last 2 years they built it, they had the V8, the 283.
Yes.
And the thing went from
283,
25 miles an hour to about 33.
yes. That's a big jump. Now, how about this particular model? What's powering this?
I have a brushless motor in that. Oh, we got it locked down.
Yeah.
It'll do probably about 17, 18 miles an hour. This one, as I said, will do 24 if I go crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Well, that's still
about it.
pretty good performance, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun with it.
Well, Sean, you know, this marine models hobby covers a lot of ground. It covers sailboats and powerboats and Coast Guard boats and a lot of military boats, right? Can you tell us a little bit about this boat? What made you decide to get involved with this, and tell us a little bit about the background?
Well, basically, my passion for this came from my wanting to learn about Titanic, and I branched out from there. And I've always had a great deal of respect for the United States military.
Yes.
Any branch, not just the Navy.
Sure.
But I mean, I chose the Navy as a favorite because my heart's always been on the water.
All right, what are we looking at here?
This is the USS James E. Williams. She's an Arleigh Burke class destroyer.
Okay.
Currently in service as well.
It is, okay.
I chose the Williams as the number and as her name because her namesake, James E. Williams, he was the highest decorated enlisted man in United States naval history.
Really? Okay. Now, when you got this, did you, was it a full built model when you got it? Did you add things to it? People get them at different levels of progression.
This is a scratch built model.
Scratch built, wow.
Yeah. Most of the details you see are all 3D printed. This
they
tower right
are?
here is
Oh.
all one piece.
Interesting. All one piece?
All one piece.
Wow, okay, all right.
But she's powered by two 580 motors, which I've scaled back the speed because they're very powerful. But when you're dealing with models, you kind of need to have a stronger motor than for scale speed because there's always those strong currents that could overwhelm your boat.
Good point, good point. What sort of performance do you get out of this?
I have two 7.2 volt batteries powering this, and I could get at least 6 hours runtime before she even starts to slow down.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, it's quite a beauty, and it's got all the detail, right? It's got the guns and the, I don't know,
It's still a great deal of work that needs to be done detail-wise,
Detail-wise, yeah.
she is seaworthy.
Well, Sean, you know, as I was growing up, Jacques Cousteau was a big deal. He was always going into different parts of the ocean. And this boat is connected to him, right?
Yes, this is the Calypso. Originally built as a minesweeper in World War II. He procured it as a marine research vessel, and he actually discovered Titanic's younger sister, the Britannic, with this very ship.
He did. He's got the little diving bell back there, right?
And the bulbous bow right here is a little space where a man can crawl into and be able to see under the water.
Isn't
get
that
a
something?
spectacular view there.
Yeah, he was big on that whole thing, bringing the underwater world to people through that sort of thing.
He was
being able to help them
definitely
see it.
passionate about it and dedicated, and I always respected him for that.
Yeah, how big was this boat, the actual thing? It looks like it was 80 foot, 90 foot, something like that?
I believe she's around 100 feet, maybe.
100 feet, yeah, 100
about
feet.
that, yeah.
And is
I
this
do
a
not
certain
recall.
scale here?
I believe this is a 1:48 scale.
1:48 scale.
This
And-
used to be a kit that was widely available. Unfortunately, it's very rare now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good you got it.
Yeah.
What kind of power in a boat like this?
Two small 360 motors, I believe, power it. They are linked into one speed control. I'm
I see, right?
going to be changing it over eventually so I can have individual control of each
Yes.
prop.
Yeah, have the regular twin screw setup.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, Bill, you know, this is another one of the interesting boats here at the local show that you have here at Milford. And this looks like something that would maybe stir a lot of memories for a lot of people.
Yes, this is a model of the famous Coast Guard 36-500 motor lifeboat from the SS Pendleton Rescue at Chatham, down off Cape Cod back in 1952.
Oh, yeah.
The boat that was the subject of the recent Disney movie, The Finest Hour.
Oh, yeah. Now, what made you pick this boat?
The history. I'm a former Coast Guard officer, and I've had just interested in Coast Guard subjects to begin with, but the history of this boat, I read the book,
Yeah.
and it's a fabulous story, and then was very excited to see the movie, and so the Dumas makes a lovely kit of the boat,
Okay.
and so I built it, and I really enjoyed it. It's plywood frames
Plywood
with
frames.
balsa planks,
Okay.
and then a layer of fiberglass cloth.
Interesting.
So it's a nice
Nice
sturdy, nice hard hull.
That's the way it should be,
reasonable
right?
size to
Yeah.
transport around.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I did is I backdated the boat to make it look like it did on that night in February 1952.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
So
all
it's
right.
a some details in the since then. The boat that as it exists today has some more modern pieces on it.
All right. Now, what was the original power in the actual boat, and what have you got here? Bill?
Right, so the original boat had a little gas engine. It was the last boat, the Coast Guard built about hundreds of these things over the course of about 20 years. And this was the last one that was built with a gas engine. After that, they switched over to diesel.
Okay.
In the movie, they captured the scene where the boat actually trying to cross the bar gets rolled and the carburetor floods out.
Right.
And so they recognized that that a diesel would be much more reliable in that sort of situation, and
Yeah.
so the boats were all eventually switched out to diesel.
And what's this one powered?
This one's powered by a battery. It's got an electric motor with a small gearbox on it to give it a reasonable amount of power. I mean, this is not a speedboat. The real one's only made about 12 knots, downhill with a tailwind.
Right.
And so this thing, it's powerful and a little on the slow side, like a tugboat.
Seaworthy is the cure.
Yes.
Is the point here.
Right. So the boat has a couple extra features that it's got working lights. I always like to put LEDs lights on it. These figures were actually made by designed by a fellow in Spain, and they're 3D printed.
Oh, okay.
So they're off a 3D printer, but they're marvelous because they're actually appropriate. They're wearing, they're wearing
The
sailor
garb,
dungarees and classic Navy style life jackets and that sort of thing, which you can't normally find available. So, got the bell from a dollhouse store.
So it looks very accurate.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Mike, it's hard to believe, but we're out of time for the show today. And it's been a great event here in Milford at the pond and seeing some of the different boats that are available. Really cool hobby. Do you have anything you want to add before we wrap up the show together?
Yeah, it is a cool hobby. It's a lot of fun. People of all ages. My grandson runs boats. Older people myself.
Right.
So all their ages and stuff, and it's relatively easy to get into. Our club, meets once a month. It's Marine Modelers of New England, and it's marinemodelers.org is our website, and that you can get our whole schedule, where we'll be every single month. We'll be up at the Salem Maritime Festival in first weekend in August.
Okay.
And the government pays us to participate because we set up little noodle tugs for kids to run.
All right.
And has a huge draw. So we look forward to seeing, people.
Someone
and
come to an
contact any of
event.
us.
An event would be a great way to get started,
Yes.
I guess, right? Come
And
see the boats, maybe
they
get a
see
chance
our-
to drive one.
They see our website, contact any of us.
Yes, okay.
Our phone numbers, our email
They're
addresses
all
are
listed
there.
on there.
And we'd be glad to talk to and help any people that were interested to get into the sport.
Okay, good. And that's marinemodelers.org, is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah, okay. All right, thank you, Mike.
Hey, thank you, Paul.
And
Great day. And
it's a great day, yeah. Thank you, Smart Boating viewers, for joining Mike and myself. And if you have any questions or comments, please visit our website, www.smartboatingus.com. Thank you.